Hello everyone. I am not sure if I will release this or not, but something out of the usual that I do here, something without an edit at the moment. Just like imagine this as a heart-to-heart conversation, if you will. I unfortunately lost my grandfather the other day. Still, of course, unhappy about it, but such is life. You live means you will eventually die. Everybody around you, either before you or after you, will pass away. Now, as dark as this sounds, I'm not trying to make an edgy statement here or, you know, claim this big philosophical discovery like I discovered something, meaning about life or something like that. No. This is something more human, I would say. Maybe you heard it 100 times from your parents, maybe you heard it somewhere else, but just, I guess, take this as a sign, if you needed one, to spend some more time, especially with your grandparents, if they're still around. I mean, I'm lucky. I consider myself lucky because just before my grandfather had, well, a problem and had to be taken to the hospital, then, well, later there he passed away. Right the day before, I had a phone call with him. He was already barely able to speak. I mean, he is old, plus he had various heart problems, which led to then, heart problem, vein problems, brain problem, and you lose mobility. I'm not a doctor, don't ask me about that, but let's just say he wasn't able to move that much, he wasn't able to talk as much. He still understood what we were saying, he was still conscious, but it was clear that, first of all, life is probably not good when you're in that shape, and plus, there's really no full recovery from something like this. But as I was saying, I was lucky enough that I just managed to talk to him fairly recently, right the day before this happened. And, well, after I got the news, to be completely honest, a part of me was, well, relieved because, as I said, it's probably not a very good state of existence to be unable to move as much as you want, unable to speak. I hope I don't, everybody will get also. Even if I hope that I don't become like that, well, what am I gonna do? It happens to all of us. So in that sense, I'm happy he didn't have to struggle more with this. But I'm also happy that I had a chance to talk. I can only imagine what would have happened if, last time I talked was like a half a year ago, and I would think to myself, damn. And, it feels like a stupid thing to say, right? If a person dies, like they're gone, you cannot never talk to them again. Like, I know, basic concept, but there's a certain reality to it that you only get when it happens. So just like fairly recently, also half a year ago, my grandma passed away. Also, heart problems, and then now my grandfather. So in both of these cases, I was happy that I managed to talk to them before I even visited. Same for my grandma. I was happy that I had the chance to talk enough to her also in the last weeks. But just making this out of the ordinary video from my side to say, hey, if you don't do this enough, trust me, it doesn't take too much off your time. It really is just a couple minutes, something that you will do, and unfortunately, after a while, it will be something that you cannot do anymore anyway. So I highly, highly recommend. Hell, if I could, I would force you. No, I would not. But do it. Imagine it this way. Think from their perspective. Imagine when you get old. Hell, you'd be happy if somebody still remembers and cares about you. This is what this is about, essentially. Even if it's just 5 minutes, just to say hi, just to ask how they're doing, it means the world to people who are, well, alone, cannot do much. They know it's the end of their life. You are their legacy in a way, think about it. Call them. Hell, don't think about it. Call them, then think about it. Yeah. So, but as I say, death comes for everyone. It's something that is inevitable. So keep that in mind. Doesn't mean that you have to be paranoid or always afraid of it. No, death is not something to be feared, in my opinion. It's rather something that you need to be aware of and then live accordingly. And make sure you treat people around you accordingly. Yeah, that was it. That was it from my side. If you needed a sign, this is it. Pick up the damn phone. Call your grandparents. If you haven't talked to your parents for a while, call your parents. If you have some relatives that you are in contact with normally but haven't talked to for a while, call them as well. Doesn't take too much time, but you'll be glad you did it. Anyway, sorry if I ruined your day. Sorry if this was out of the blue, talking about death. The guy who talks about Counter-Strike map suddenly talks about death. I know, unconventional video from my side, but as I said, glad that I did call my grandfather. Of course, I'm sad that he passed away, but at least I'm in peace knowing that I had good communication with him. But also I know that I cannot do that anymore. So that was the last time. Anyway, have a great time. Make sure to call whoever you can. And yeah, remember, life is a wonderful thing. It can be terrible at times. It can be super annoying at times. You think, screw everything. I hate everything. But still, there's the beauty. Without hardships, without losing, without the struggle, without it all, being so finite and being able to end in an instant, it wouldn't have been so beautiful. That's, I guess, the beauty of it, in my opinion. So also make sure to enjoy the life that you have as much as you can, even though it is a big struggle sometimes. Anyway, I will not keep you too much. Goodbye.